Trying to work out how to value your business or value a business you're thinking about buying? Well, I've got good news. In this video, I'm going to give you some hints and tips on how to go about doing just that. G'day, Ben Futrell here, co-founder of Max My Profit, and we're all about helping you build the business you imagine. Now, a question that I get asked very, very often is how do I go about valuing a business? Now, it's a bit of a trick question because there's no one hard and fast answer, and I'll give you that warning right up front here, is that I'm not an accountant, and you should seek the professional advice of an accountant or business valuation expert to get an accurate valuation of a business. But I am going to give you some hints and tips and some things or questions to ask when it comes to valuing a business. By the way, if you do enjoy this video, make sure you give it the thumbs up to let us know that you're enjoying the content that we're creating. Now, a business is no different to any other asset in life, and you've got to ask yourself about the circumstances surrounding the reason for sale. Is it a forced sale? Is it a liquidation sale? Is it a retirement sale? What is it? Is it an urgent sale? All of these things can actually make a difference as to the value of the asset that is being sold, whether it's a business, a house, a car, or whatever it might be. And you would have noticed that people sometimes will say it's an express sale they want to get. I've seen businesses that have been for sale for $500,000 be reduced down to like $100,000 in a matter of weeks because of their circumstances. And those circumstances can change depending on what's going on. For example, let's say a business has a property lease that is about to come up for renewal or expire, or contracts that are running out. Well, that means that the urgency to sell that business is becoming greater because the desirability of that business may be reducing. So you want to look at things like that. What is the reason for the sale of the business? And that can have a huge influence on the valuation that is placed on a business at the time of sale. Now, of course, it goes without saying that the second thing that you need to look at when you come to valuing a business is the business assets. Now, people think about assets as things like buildings or equipment or stock at value. And yes, those things are considered assets and very, very important for you to consider. But I also want you to think about some of the other assets that may not be as tangible, the things that you can't touch and feel, but add huge value to the business. So, for example, an asset might be a website. Now you might be thinking, well, how could a website be an asset? Well, it costs a lot of money to develop a really good website, and it can be a fair bit of money to optimize that website for organic traffic, a thing called search engine optimization. Now, if the business that you're buying has spent a lot of money and time optimizing their website for organic traffic and making sure that that traffic turns into customers, then that is an asset. Now, if it's your business and that's something that you've done, you want to be able to really be able to articulate that and explain clearly to a potential buyer that one of the reasons you're valuing the business at the value you are is that you have got that automatic marketing system in place where people that are looking on a search engine for what it is you offer are able to find your business easily. And these are things that in traditional methods of valuation may not be considered, but definitely in 2021, it's a valuation tool is to look at some of these other intangible assets. Things like CRMs, for example. If you've put a lot of time and energy into developing a CRM, which is a contact or client relationship management software, and automating a lot of the processes in your business, then that could also increase the value when it comes to selling or buying a business. And you've got to think about it like this. If the business has a CRM or a sales process that is documented, it's easy to train new salespeople to use, and that ends up resulting in additional sales that may be difficult to get otherwise, then that adds value to the business valuation. And that's what's really important, is to look at some of these intangible things. So CRMs, email databases, systems, for example. Is the business systemized? Does the business rely on the business owner being there? Or could the business owner take a 3-month holiday and the business would still run and grow without them being present? All of these things need to be taken into account when it comes to a valuation of a business. I believe these things to be greater assets in some cases than equipment and stock. Now, whilst we're on the subject of assets that are intangible, other assets are things like trademarks or intellectual property. Now, these are things that you may not have thought about, but are very, very important when it comes to valuing a business. Now, if you're selling your business or thinking of selling your business, then think about the things that you do that are your intellectual property. What processes have you got that you do that nobody else does that makes your business unique or makes it so your the way that you do things is more profitable or more efficient. And if you haven't trademarked some of the things that you do, then I suggest you jump onto a trademark lawyer or an intellectual property lawyer, and you get some of these things protected prior to putting it on the market, because that's a way of being able to increase the value of your business. So for example, if you have a product or a service that you've developed that has a uniqueness to it, and you've created a unique name for it, but it isn't trademarked, then it's very easy for a competitor to copy it, and that devalues it. If I'm a buyer, that's a question I'm going to be asking. Now, if you've ever watched that show Shark Tank, you'll see that the sharks quite often ask the person pitching their business idea, has this been trademarked? Do you have patents for this? How many countries do you have patents for this? Intellectual property is an asset and needs to be protected properly to add value to the business. Now, the next thing to think about is a little bit about the branding of the business. Has the business been around for a long time and developed a lot of what used to be called, I guess it still is called, goodwill? The longer a business is around, the more goodwill it will build, the more customers that it will serve, and the more loyalty that it will create. Now, on that note, one of the ways that a business can build value that is definitely new in the 2020s and 2021 and beyond is through reviews. If a business that you're looking at buying has a stack of positive reviews, and I'm talking maybe hundreds of positive reviews, then that is an asset. That is going to help you with your marketing. It's going to help with converting customers or prospects into customers. So that will add value. Now, if you are trying to sell a business and you've got stacks of positive reviews, that is also going to increase the value. Just remember that the opposite is true. If you have lots of negative reviews, that is also going to affect the value of your business. It's a bit like buying a house next to an airport or on a main road. They're always a bit cheaper because of these things that take away from the value of a business, and reviews do play a part. So if you're not collecting positive reviews for your business, I would start doing that today. So even if you're not planning on selling yet and you're just wondering what's my business worth, it will increase the value of your business over time if you collect positive reviews over the next few years before maybe the inevitable happens and you have to sell. Now, of course, it would be remiss of me not to mention profitability, because this is one of the major factors when it comes to valuing a business. Your business needs to be profitable, and quite often you'll hear people talk about multiples, and they talk about multiples of profitability. And typically what an accountant will do in a lot of cases, well, they'll take out the perks that an owner might get from the business. They might even take out the owner's earnings from the P&Ls, and that's how they'll work out the profitability of the business. Now, I would suggest that you do not take the owner's drawings out unless it is way more than what that salaried position would be worth. So, for example, if you're looking at buying a business and the owner has been taking $250,000 a year out as their salary, and you could probably hire somebody to run that business for $120,000 a year, then you could discount that 250 down to the 120 and add that 130 into the profit mix, because the truth is that if you hired somebody to do that job, then you wouldn't have to pay them that same amount. All right, so really important that you do the other thing that you can look at as well is how many perks or fringe benefits has the business owner put through the business. Are they paying for their Foxtel? Do they have toys within the business that they're utilizing for their own personal use that the business is paying for? And these things will help you understand how to value the business. Now, if you are looking at selling your business, then you've got to keep that in mind. Yes, it's fine to put some things through the business that you can justify. I'm sure there's plenty of us that have done this over the years, whether it's a mobile phone or a Foxtel subscription or something, but I do not recommend it because it will reduce the profitability of your company. And ultimately, when it comes to the valuation, an accountant is going to look at how profitable your company is, and they're going to look at a multiple of that profitability to determine a value. It's definitely going to be part of the equation. So make sure that you are clear with what the numbers are. And if you are taking out more than what a salaried position would be, then make sure you note that down when it comes to selling your business. If you are buying a business, keep that in mind when you look at the numbers, that you are also going to maybe have to discount what it is the owner has been taking to get a true number of what you think the business may be worth. Now, one of the little less known areas or more difficult areas to predict is the opportunity. And, we see this with property all the time. People will buy a property based on the opportunity. Could it be subdivided? Could it be developed? Could the house be renovated? What are the things that are going to do to improve its value? Now, quite often, a business that has been run under one ownership or directorship for many years will get a little bit stale and needs some new ideas. And there may be opportunities. There may even be opportunities that you bring to the table because of the industry that you're already in, and that could add massive value. So maybe that business is worth more to you than somebody else because of the industry you're already in. Maybe it adds value. So for example, maybe you're already in an industry where you sell, I don't know, let's use kitchens as an example. Let's say you already sell kitchens and you can see an opportunity to buy another kitchen sales company, then that could add value to you. And it could be easy because maybe you're already manufacturing and it just increases your sales. Maybe you're in you've got a cleaning business and you're looking at buying another cleaning business that already has a whole stack of contracts in place, but you already have a team of cleaners that are underutilized and you can maximize your profitability pretty quickly. So acquisitions are definitely opportunities. There could be opportunities as well that the present owners haven't seen or that you haven't seen, or maybe you could even present these opportunities. Quite often, once again, I'll use real estate as an example because a lot of people can relate to that. If you go and look at a property, the real estate agent quite often will feed you 3, 4, 5 different things that you could do with that property to improve its value pretty quickly. Hey, you can add a granny flat. Hey, you could use this as this. You could extend that. You could, you could put a balcony and get a better view, whatever it might be. They're pretty quick to help you how to understand how to increase the value of the property because they know that that increases the price that you're likely to pay. So the same thing applies for a business. If you're selling a business, start looking at what the opportunities are and list them out clearly in black and white for any potential buyers because it will help them see the opportunity and it will increase the value in their mind as well. If you're buying a business and you see the opportunities, best thing to do is keep that to yourself because if you do start to verbalize those things, then that could be used against you in the negotiation. But definitely opportunity is something that is often overlooked, but is a big part of valuing a business. Now, my final note that I'll talk about is the business that you're looking at buying or selling a franchise? And the reason I say that is because now there is a frame of reference where people can use comparable sales to try and come up with a valuation. If you are looking at buying a franchise, ask them to disclose to you the information about the last 10 that were sold. Look at how much it is to buy a brand new one that hasn't been established and think about the effort and time it would take to build that business to the point of the one that you're looking to buy or sell. And that should help you with some sort of evaluation around what that is worth. I think valuing a franchise is a little bit easier from that perspective because you do have a frame of reference, you do have a network, and you do have other sales happening in the exact same brand and network to help you identify what that may well be worth. All right, well, hopefully that's helped you. And once again, just a reminder, if you are looking to get some help to value your business or value a business that you're thinking about buying, that you do need to seek professional advice. There are professionals that are trained in creating a valuation and helping you understand the value of a business. And that way you can get the most accurate information possible to help you make the decision that you are about to make. And as I said before, give it the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video. And thanks for tuning in. See you next time.